Just a quick one on the safe disposal of nuclear waste next. We've got 3 levels of waste. The lowest level is stuff like rubbish from, like normal rubbish from the power station, so like bits of plastic, bits of metal, that sort of thing. It's the level of radiation coming off it is extremely low, but there is still some chance that it's contaminated. So it is encased in concrete and then buried, but not particularly deeply, so sort of surface buried. The next level is intermediate level waste, and this is stuff from inside the reactor. So for example, the moderator there, when you decommission your power station, which means you turn it off and you're taking it apart, then what do you do with all this stuff? So that the moderator classes as intermediate waste. The level of radiation coming off it's still pretty low. It's not enough to cause significant heating, but it's significant enough that you need it out the way. That radiation can't reach people. So it's also encased in concrete, but then it's buried pretty deeply underground. So the rock above provides a barrier to prevent that radiation reaching us. And then lastly, you've got high level waste, and that is radioactive enough that it's going to heat whatever's around it. It's giving off enough energy that it's going to cause significant heating. And the high level waste is basically the leftovers from the used fuel rods. Now, when you decommission a power station, you get these used fuel rods out. You don't just throw them away as they are. You reprocess them. So you try and get stuff. For example, we saw yesterday the plutonium, so that you can get plutonium out of it and then you can use that in another reactor. So you reprocess these fuel rods, and to do that you kind of crush them up and get the stuff out that you want, and then what's left after you've done that is apparently liquid. I'm not exactly sure how, but apparently it's liquid, and liquid is much more difficult to dispose of. You need it, you don't want it running away, so you need to turn it into a solid before you can pack it away somewhere. And so they do something called vitrification, and that is where you mix your radioactive liquid with crushed up glass and put it in a furnace to melt the glass. And so then your radioactive liquid gets like mixed up with the melted glass, and then when it all cools again, you've now secured your radioactive material in this solid glass. And then you can once again encase it in concrete and bury it somewhere very deep to make sure that none of the radiation reaches people.